these rosters. First up, it's going to be Hebron High School. We got Minnie, Carter, Radriar, Emong, Johnny G, Beast, and I Am a Frog coming in for this Hebron High roster, trying to punch up to one of the most storied public universities that the country has.
And then over on the Baja Blasters side, we've got Eric, Craig, Daryl, OWCS player Phone, if you know the name, Hermosa, and Doihi. These guys, as my caster said, they are UT's Dallas's varsity team, so these guys are pretty good. They play with each other a lot. They know how to get, on the same page. They know how to adapt fast. So we'll see if, Hebron can throw a little wrench into their plan today, or, they just get rolled over.
To be Oasis, we're going to City Center Oasis, where if you're going to play dive on Oasis, this is where you're going to do it. Otherwise, I expect to see pretty heavy ground brawling in general. And we got a couple of
Shocker.
hammers out here.
We're getting a good old-fashioned gentleman's Rhine duel at the start, it seems. We'll see. Hebron does have a sim, so maybe not so gentlemanly, but we'll see if the
Oh, I doubt that that's
yeah, don't pay attention to Craig in the chat. Oh, maybe Craig is not lying. Oh, here we go.
We did have a couple of bands come out. It was Bastion for Baja Blasters and Jetpack Cat for Hebron.
Shocker, Cat Bastion's not a fan favorite.
Well, doesn't seem like either team really wants to deal with it. I don't think either team is going to have to deal with it today in this specific matchup. We'll have to wait and see what the other teams are going to be leaning towards. Of course, all of the series today will be a first to three. Does seem like we're going to get very similar compositions here.
Close to a mirror comp here, yeah.
I mean, the ideas are exactly the same. The executions are just going to be a little different.
Very interesting to see two teams coming from the North American region running sim. You usually see this in EMEA, not as much. Yeah, they might just be able to TP out, spawn quick, and then swap over to a tracer or something fast. He looks like Baja swapped, yeah, but Hebron looks to actually be running the sim, yeah.
All right, here we go. Phone already super low, having to back around the middle pillar here on Oasis City Center. Coming back up and around. Hebron looking for the TP up onto the high ground where Beast is going to get some spam damage in on it to Eric. Not quite able to secure that kill. 100 charge here for Craig, looking for the shot. Going to throw it right into the shield of Emong. Immortality field already invested here by Do Yi, as well as Hebron using their Immortality field. Still no casualties coming through in this first fight. Both Reinhardts running into each other, bumper carding in it to the middle of this objective, and it will be the first casualty here on to Craig from Beast. Emon going to find the fire strike on to their mirror, and it will be Hebron taking the first fight here on Oasis.
This is going to be really hard for Baja Blasters. This sim allows for a lot of mobility that Baja does not have running this Genji. This sim TP is just so well, especially if they can coordinate it correctly and get onto this Cass. They were on Sojourn, which I think is a better pick into the sim, but now they're on to Cass, so we'll see what happens with the TPs.
All right, here we go. Phone and Emong both getting really close to their Earth Shatters as we see Phone come through huge with the pin on it to Mini Carter. Here's the Ant Matrix to dissuade any more of a push. For the moment, that Ant Matrix will go away here very, very briefly.
One with the Shatter. Both Rhines have Shatter here.
Here's a Deadeye from Raydryer looking for it, but the Earth Shatter comes down. Phone comes up huge. Shatter, Fire Strike, getting rid of two. Looking for a third in the fight. It will be Baja Blasters off the back of Phone. Taking over here just after 50%.
I mean, pretty hefty investment here. Both Window and Shatter for Baja. Hebron has this Sim Wall and their Shatter, and they're coming up on beat. halfway to another window already, so we'll see if they just TP point Simwall and look to just blow up this Reinhardt.
Looking for an opportunity to get in here. Daryl has that sound barrier. We're gonna see the TP up onto
To
the
the
high
high
ground.
ground.
Might have
There's the
been the world's
Simwall,
biggest
and there's
flashbang
the
as
Shatter.
there's the shatter. Johnny G able to take it down. Craig pin into the wall from Emong, who is exceptionally low. Phone has to run back around, grab that mega health pack. Lucio's going at it on this edge of the map with the Reinhardt, but will not be able to get anything more
Daryl gets a
than a
trade.
late pick on it to Beast, who is just going to come back pretty quickly with that teleporter.
Yeah, and then Johnny G also built another window in the middle of that fight. Now, Dewey also is coming up on a window, and Phone has Shatter, and we have the Blade here. Big ults coming from both teams here. We'll see if they layer Blade with a Shatter, or if they just look to dry Blade out this beat and then go back in with a Shatter.
Onto the high ground it goes a Baja. Blasters pin out. Immortality field invested, so this Dragon Blade is pretty much free with the exception of that sound barrier. We're going to see the Ant
Window on
Matrix
point.
come down on the objective. Earthshatter still ready to go for Phone. None of these ultimates have been infested. There is the Earthshatter. Will not
We
land.
whiffed.
Here we see the sound barrier as well. Now Dragon Blade pulled by Eric. Everything in their way taken out, and it will be Baja Blasters staying in this fight here on City Center. Phone, get out of their spawn.
Well, they did exactly as I thought they would do. They shattered, and then they layered this blade over top of it. Unfortunately, Phone didn't hit anything with the shatter, but it's okay because he got out Lamp quick, and then the beat came out. I don't even know when the beat came out, but Eric got a free blade onto the back line.
I think they tried to beat aggressively, but I don't know that was the right call. Here is the Ant Matrix looking for the Deadeye. A
Oh,
lot of damage, but Phone coming up huge again. Doyi and Phone, two of the most storied players on this Baja Blasters roster, coming up huge in what
a
could
big
be
pin!
one of the last fights. Yeah, it's a big pin, but it's 1-for-1, unfortunately.
Yeah, but with the Sim team, Hebron gets back faster because they have Sim, and Emong's built a Shatter, but Phone has already built Shatter as well. He built a Shatter in a fight.
Yeah,
And
we're
Baja Blasters just has we have Beat and Noon as well. We can just layer this with an ult fight and just take this for free, unless your Genji dies early.
coming up on OT here. Eric goes down, and they can't get back on the point.
They
An
see
unfortunate
9.
C9 for Baja Blasters. Could have gotten back in there, not quite able to do so.
That's yeah, man, that's a really unfortunate C9, especially with the fact that you had what? You had Shatter, you had Window, and you had Blade. You had 3 ults. You could have just won, just overwhelm Hebron with ults and just win for free. And they just didn't touch point. I wonder if they got shattered off point.
No, those shatters came out after the round had ended.
So they just
All
straight
right.
up didn't touch.
All right, well, Baja Blasters. Okay, yeah, switching up the composition entirely, going over to a hard dive Phone on the Winston now.
Something you
Looking
don't see very often of
looking
anymore.
for the isolation. We're gonna see. Oh, Emong almost claimed Doyi with that second fire strike. Quick step away, and it will be the dive coming up with the win here for Baja Blasters. Can I just say it's really interesting to see these new graphics for the game. I haven't gotten to play since the new season dropped.
Yeah, Blizzard's been doing some workshopping. It's very interesting to see a Winston here. You don't really see a lot of Winston anymore, unfortunately. But he would have swapped over to the Brig to get a Brig and a Reaper to get this Winston a little more trouble getting in. So we'll see. We'll see how Phone adapts to the swaps from Hebron.
playing safe a little bit right now. We're going to see Beast TP up onto the high ground where they're going to be able to force Baja Blasters down and away from the fight on the high ground. So control goes over to Hebron on that high ground side. Hindered up is Phone able to jump away. Eventually, an unfortunate pin there from Emong. Maybe could have caught Eric out, but straight into the door frame goes that Reinhardt. And Emong taking so much damage. Phone
It's a really good wood
trying to
shot.
jump back in, not quite able to get there as the Animatrix comes out on this high ground. This shield super low as the Kitsune Rush drops in from Doyi. And the health pool's not looking super hot for the side of Baja Blaster's. Phone having to pop this Primal Rage to stay in the fight for even longer. And of course,
But
no
Hebron still
Immortality
hasn't
Field
flipped.
from Johnny G. This Winston play has been immaculate for Phone having switched over this round. Greg does not have that power slide to get away from the Reinhardt, but dealt so much damage on the way out. Dragon Blade ready to go for
Still no
Eric,
flip.
should they so choose. Eric able to get rid of the brig, but has to dive away, and it will be Hebron able to take over at 84%.
I mean, it's great that they get the flip, but like they invested everything, and Baja Blaster stalled for so long. They got an extra 40% out of that, and now they have beat OC and
And
Blade coming
Mini
back into
Carter's
this.
dead. Okay, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Now Doyi able to
And
get rid
Beast
of Beast
falls.
post Death Blossom, and now with this Immortality Field gone for the side of Hebron, this round is all but chopped now, as they really don't have any more resources. Emong having to go and bail their Cassidy out, but it's just like I said, there's nothing left in the wallet here.
Yeah, I mean they spent everything trying to get this point flip, and then they didn't get it, and now they like good pick from Beast here, but if they maybe get a
Nah.
touch,
Yeah.
no touch.
No touch. So Oasis here, and our first map will be decided on the University.
Yeah, they invested so much to try to get that flip. They shattered. They used both DPS souls, but they built both of them back. But it's like you invest both immediately, and then you still don't get flip. And Baja Blasters just built up to 85% to put one fight territory, and then Hebron didn't have any ults to match. I mean, they just had Blade, OC, and Beat, and like Baja just ran them over.
All right. Again, a composition swap for Baja Blasters. This time Hebron switching it up at 2. Emong will remain on that Malga as they tried to get back on the point at the end of the last round. Orisa now for Phone. Maybe trying to call out that Malga remaining. And if that is the case, they will now know that their guess is correct. Over to the
It's interesting that
objective goes Hebron Esports. They're going to try and bunker down. Sojourn stuck in a corner, but Craig able to track down that pick. The Malga on the far side getting really, really low, having to pop that cardiac overdrive to stay in the fight, but it will be Baja Blasters cleaning up a 5 to take the first flip.
yeah. And you see as they get away from the high ground maps, like we started on City Center, the BAP with the jump has so much mobility. We are now in a mirror. Oh, actually, excuse me, Hebron has swapped over to the Mizuki, but we were in a Lucio Kiri movement mirror just because not as much high ground here, kind of just this top right side. Just try to brawl a little more.
Dirty bubble here for the side of Hebron. Phone having to back down without that shield perk. It's a little bit difficult to stay in the fight against the high charge Zarya. So looking to build that up. His Beast gets rid of Eric on the far side. Daryl also getting tracked down. Of course, no Wraith form here for Beast on the Reaper right now. But it will be enough damage to push away Baja Blasters for at least the time being.
Yeah, but the issue is that Hebron has like they have no ults. They have Blossom coming up, that's great, but we have Orisa ult, Kitsu, almost Beat, almost OC, almost Blade for the side of Baja Blasters. They're just gonna look to run them over with ults. They have the advantage. Unless
All
my
right, here we
Orisa
go.
ends. Never
I mean,
mind.
Emong just explodes. Unfortunately, the Death Blossom tried to dissuade the use of that Kitsune rush, but it will be a swift win with the casualty of Emong right at the beginning.
And all they had to use was Kitsu. They still have 4 ults in the bank. Hebron has nothing. We're coming up on Kitsu and Mizuki ult, but we don't have OC. We're only 60% to a grab. And honestly, in this comp, what do you even grab? They have beat, they have cleanse. Like, what are we even
Go.
looking for?
Phone getting aggressive as a beast goes down. No Wraith form. Eric has to back down. Took a nice little shot there as the Kitsune Rush comes down for Donnie G. Terra Surge and the Sound Barrier invested as Doyi puts an end to Mini Carter and Johnny G. Doyi versus the backline of Hebron. And it will put Baja Blasters in a one fight and this map is over scenario.
Yeah, that's really bad from Hebron. They invested the Kitsu and got nothing out of it. They did get out Blade beat and Terra Surge, so it's 3-for-1 trade on the side of Hebron. So you have ult advantage walking into this fight, but here we go, we
Right,
pop
well,
both.
here is the sanctuary, but it's not enough. Craig and Eric able to come through huge, even with Kakai Sanctuary in play. And now that grab is not in play for this final fight. Mini Carter doing their best to get rid of Craig here and trying to keep this fight in the pocket. Beast able to take down
Winnable
Doyi.
fight.
A good fight here from these stragglers from Hebron Esports. And as Emong returns, gets the bubble onto the Reaper and will keep Hebron in the map.
Baja coming up on another Kitsu though. Emong has to find value out of this grab. We cannot let this Orisa walk out. I mean, I truly. Okay, never mind. Phone's gonna walk to the mirror on to the Zarya. So now this grab gets a little bit more interesting because the tank can't just walk out of it. So we'll see what Emong looks to do with his grab.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing, there is still a lot of time on that clock. Here's the grab, and it's huge. 3 players
Yeah.
stuck in the Graviton Surge, and it will put Hebron in control. But that fight was so fast. Baja Blasters still have 40% to get back in.
Yeah, and Baja Blasters still have this Kitsu. They have, and Hebron doesn't even have a Kitsu to match it. We don't even have beat to match. This Kitsu is just gonna go unchecked. Here he goes.
Here is the Kitsune Rush, and Emong again
Oh,
caught out in no man's land. Phone and Eric going ballistic in this final fight. A team kill at the end of Oasis to put Baja Blasters on the board.
Nice try.
yeah, I don't understand the Mizu swap. Nothing really to deny with Chain.
All right. Here we go. Map number 2, Kings Row. Now, we do see, I talked to one of the players at Hebron Esports, and they did say that they do like the poke compositions, and this is a pretty pokey composition,
This is
very
yeah.
aggressive,
They're
very
gonna look
very aggressive backline.
just gonna look to surround Baja and never let them get angle control on the map. They're gonna be very, very spread out here. Just take up as much space as possible and make it really, really hard for Baja to walk through this opening choke. I'm kind of interested to see if maybe Baja would run like a Vendetta instead of this Genji to break through this very pokey comp.
All right, here we go. Map number 2. See a little bit of charge out onto this Zarya already. Not a whole lot of pressure being put on the phone to use those bubbles right now. Raidriar under a lot of duress by Cassidy, able to get the blink away. Back it down to the rest of their team. Emong kind of caught out a little bit. It does actually escape the pincer maneuver of Baja Blasters. And Johnny G from the low ground able to dispatch of Craig and Raidriar in the back line, just completely unnoticed, putting pellets upon pellets into these players.
Yeah, it's very good angle control. They're gonna look to get this set back up. Interesting ball widow swaps from Baja Blasters, but Hebron's just gonna look to do the exact same thing this fight. Keep angle control, keep them shoved into a little room where they can poke them out and make it really difficult to get any space on the map.
The wrecking ball super low, put some pressure on the high ground. Phone is able to get that mega health pack, but Johnny G and Raidriar chasing that wrecking ball will put Baja Blasters out of another fight.
Tracer's just very good at marking this ball. One of the very few heroes that can actually keep up.
Doyi in the back line there as Eric is able to dispatch of their opposition. Eats a rock,
Good
does
trade.
Doyi. And the spawns are a
Even has
lot
to care
closer
this
here.
widow. Yeah, this widow's gonna make
Oh
this
my
very hard.
goodness,
Ooh!
a nasty one clip from Eric as Phone and Eric collapse onto the back line here. Okay, so Phone is just lying to me now. I guess there's no Bastion, but it will be a fight win here for Baja Blasters.
Yeah, this widow just demands so much respect on this map. I mean, a lot of people don't like King's Row because it's kind of straight line simulator, and that's where Widow tends to thrive. I mean, she's already got sights. I mean, she just swapped. We've got sights. I mean, we've got Nano, we've got Pulse. Baja Blaster's probably going to look to Nano Tracer to break through this high ground, or maybe just go with a Pulse Bomb, or, maybe a little lucky pick out of the height, but Hebron has 5 ultimates to work with here.
Well, here's the first of the fight, but Beast chucks a nade and Craig eats it. Going down there is that Widowmaker rock out. Now the Nano on to a Phone. No accretion to keep Phone out of that ultimate. Able to keep Phone alive with the help of both the damage reduction and the healing from the Jetpack Cat. We're going to see the airstrike come down. Do-Yi will
It's
get
Pulse.
dropped right into the pulse bomb of Radriar. Here is the captive
Wow,
son. A
this
lot of
is.
damage on
Oh
Daryl.
my.
Can they get the cat taken care of? They will. Johnny G able to track it down, and Eric cleaned up. Craig makes the same fate. It will be a hold at the choke here.
But it's very expensive. Hebron uses all four, uses 4 ults other than Window here. Baja Blasters now comes out with Flux and Pulse. I mean, we'll see what Johnny G can do with this Window, but spending 4 ults there is not really what you want from Hebron. Especially because Baja only invested the Nano.
Well, we do see Do-Yi head up to this high ground on the Ana. A nice little anti there onto a couple of players. Forced to throw down that Immortality Field. Unfortunately, Emong is able to drop it. Immortality Field not in play here, so the
Ah,
Bastion will go
Flux.
down to the Gravitic Flux. Now it is a 1-for-1 trade, and Do-Yi is returning well before the Beast on Bastion. Amp Matrix to try
She just
and
used the
buy some
Window.
more time for this Bastion to return now without that Amp Matrix finally having to back down, but a lot of time bought here as we get around this first corner.
But Dohi's almost to another Nano, and Eric's still holding on to this Post Bomb, and Emong has killed himself with his own rock.
Yeah, unfortunate. That explosive damage does hurt you as well. Craig comes through with a trade. Unfortunately, Phone bites it as well. Emong returning. Phone still has yet to respond, and Baja Blasters just trying to milk every inch out of this card that they can.
Hebron's coming up on all 5 ults again. I guess one good thing about using all 4 ults at the same time is you get all 4 ults back at the same time. But Dohi has built this Nano again, and we have the Noon, so we'll see what we can get out of this Nano here, if we're just going to use the Nano our Sig and walk through.
All right. Poking from Phone, that shield a little bit annoying here. Stunned up by the accretion.
Nano onto the
Not quite
Sig.
gonna see it. We're gonna see that Nano onto the Sig as Beast has all of those shots eaten up with that kinetic grasp, and it will be a
We're investing here.
cancellation
Oh,
on
he gets
the
locked
gravitic
out!
flux from Emong. Emong hits the ground, gets rid of Craig, but this, even with that cancellation, this fight is still very much possible for Hebron to win. Need to get rid of Daryl on this Wu Young. We're gonna actually see the ult come out on it to Phone, who has the gravitic flux, but will not need to invest it. Beast forced to use that immortality field, or rather I should say Johnny G to use that immortality field on Beast, and it will be a collection on the second objective for Baja Blasters.
It's just another large commitment from Hebron and getting nothing out of it. You fluxed, you sunshined, and you pulsed, and you still lose. You still end up losing this second point. And now Phone just floats to this high ground with Flux, and Eric's built. On this another post bomb. Oh, Phone rips it early.
Oh,
Phone is 1 HP
yeah,
and a
that
fall.
was a dicey Phone. Goes it down with super low when using that gravitic flux, not just during the cast time, but actually using it was really low. So was not able to get that value out of it that I'm sure they would have liked.
Phone lost signal. That's not good. Okay, though, pretty even ult banks here. Johnny G has this Amp Matrix. Eric has this Pulse. Gonna be looking to poke out Lamp so that Eric can actually get value out of this Pulse Bomb. Ooh,
Ooh,
fast Amp
Phone
Matrix.
having to play it safe with that kinetic grasp in the face of the Amp Matrix. Now
Craig is on a,
backing up,
they're on flank. Both
we
DPS are
have
on flanks.
Pulse Bomb from Eric ready to go, and I don't think there's an Immortality Field in play, not able to get into the window to get that Pulse Bomb off. We see Phone.
Loading
48%, we're
away.
looking up on it to this Gravitic Flux for Emong, but Beast comes through huge with the pick onto Eric. The Tracer is gone, and it will be a collapse onto Craig now. Pulse Bomb out, huge,
Hashtag hold
onto
that.
Doyi. Feeds it to Doyi, and now it's just Daryl left, and it's a 5-player kill streak for that Sigma and a team kill for Baja, or for Hebron Esports rather.
And like I said, the one good thing about using 4 ults at once is you get 4 ults back. We have Window, Sunshine, Flux, and Bastion ult for this last, for what could be last fight. But Craig does have this Noon, and we have...
Yeah, Gravitic Flux comes out. Not really, I'm sure, what they would have liked, as we do see the Bastion come down as Eric actually deflects the kill onto himself. Unfortunately for that Genji, it is a 1-for-1 trade. No Immortality Field
The
here
lamp.
to help
Oh, he
Johnny
gets
G.
rocked!
Hits nothing there, unfortunately. We're going to see the boost away from the Sigma. Emong having to get through the Immortality Field to get rid of Phone. These shields proving to be kind of a nightmare to deal with as Johnny G backs down. We're going to see the Pylon come out to try and keep these players alive. Deadeye ready to go for Craig here. Knows that there's
Hebron
a
has
Tracer
no
in the back
ults.
line. Knows that there's a Tracer in the back line. Looking for it. Gets the stick on it to
Wind Raider dies!
the Baptiste, unfortunately, Doyi able to get that Immortality Field and the Amp Matrix off, and Emong so low.
So low.
Gets the Immortality Field, able to stay alive, get around the corner, grab the mini health pack. Eric building up to this Dragon Blade as Craig pops the Deadeye to try and buy some more space, some more time for this Dragon Blade to come out. Will find the kill onto Emong with the Deadeye. Now it's up to Radriar in the backline to try and find something. Needs to go to the point, but Doyi with a triple shot to the head. Craig, 2, Doyi, 3, now 4. It will be Baja Blasters at zeros on the clock coming through with the capture.
Hebron just continuously invests 4 ults in one fight. We just cannot do that. At that whole last stretch of the point, I mean, Baja Blasters was building ults as Hebron had none. They almost got to another window and Wuyong ult. Eric built another Pulse, and Phone almost had another Flux. I mean, like, we can't be investing 4 ults to lose a fight.
Yeah, I mean they brought it down to OT, which is something, right? So
But if you cap with time, you only have to get a tick.
yeah, well you need to cap with a minute. So
So we'll see
with
if Hebron makes any adjustments. I feel like they did really good on that poke comp on the first point. They did a really good job of out angling.
surely, right? I actually don't hate the Pharah, right?
I don't either.
Craig could be really annoying, but if you're smart with your boosters, it could be kind of a cheeky pick here. Emong on the Ramatra, trying to be a little bit quieter about this one,
Phone swaps over to the
so that
Ram too.
Baja.
It's like they knew.
All right,
We've
well,
seen Proper run a lot of this far on.
okay, well, Emong is over on to the Sigma once again, but Ramatra is a really annoying pick into the Sigma. Goes right through the kinetic grasp, right through the projected barrier with those pummels, but Phone taking a lot of damage, specifically from this Pharah in the sky. Really annoying to deal with from afar, even with a hit scan like Craig in the lobby.
Yeah.
That damage
Be
fall
interested to
off.
see if this Pharah looks to go to this top left high ground. If he looks to jet booster
Oh,
across, or
Emong
we'll
with the
just get a pick onto the
fadeaway.
Tracer.
Emong with the fadeaway onto Eric, beautifully done, and Phone having to put up those hands, unfortunately. Just taking infinite damage is that Ramatra for Baja Blasters, so it will be at least a tick, but I assume that this is a point capture completely for
Yeah,
Hebron.
100%, especially with Craig dying here late. Yeah, I was interested to see if Beast would go from where he was on that roof to the back left high ground. Because, like I said, we've seen Proper use this far on this Kings Row a lot in Korea. So I wonder if a little imitation from that region.
And we see Mini Carter switching over to that Mizuki now. Gonna try and keep the Genji and, for that matter, the Diva in check, as we will actually see the stun out onto Phone, who gets that wave, does actually get
Wow.
demeched, and it will be a kill from Radriar with that railgun onto Phone. It's a trade, but Baja Blasters do not have a tank, and therefore will be continuing their push here on B.
And they invested the nano. They nanoed their diva there. Wow. Craig falls as well. Ooh, but Eric gets a good trade onto Johnny G.
Doyi getting super aggro. Frontline Ana is a little bit creative. Does end up going down. So now Hebron has put themselves in an immaculate position to take control here.
Yeah. Mini Carter with a good read on Baja Blasters. He swapped to this Mizu almost immediately. I don't know if he swapped and like he saw Phone go Diva or if he knew Phone was going to go Diva, but he went to this Mizu really quickly. So that's just a really good read there. Hebron also coming up on almost everything other than window. They pop OC real quick back right.
Here is that overclock looking for something, but it doesn't seem like Baja Blasters is really willing to give them anything. A beautifully done kite for that overclock, but it will be Johnny G starting this fight out, getting the D-Mech onto the Diva. This
Ooh.
self-destruct actually did come through, and Phone was not able to get back into the mech. And now Baja Blasters is heavy on the back foot here, as it will be a 5-minute time bank for Hebron on C.
And Hebron only had to invest the OC in the window, so now they have Flux. They have the Sanctuary for the high noon. They've got a big time ult in this Far barrage. You can just look to blow up Phone with it for free.
Go. Mini Carter has the Kikai Sanctuary, has to use that recall really quickly. We're going to see the
Flux
Gravitic
is
Flux, and
early.
yeah, Phone, the only way they live is if we get that
Oh.
Immortality Field, but Beast is able to rip down the team with that aforementioned Rocket Barrage. And now with 4.5 minutes left, they really only need one more fight.
And Johnny G has now built another window, and Mini Connor didn't even have to invest the sanctuary, so he can just put it on point and they can just walk it in for free.
All right, here we go. Up to the high ground is Radriar. Poking from Emong from the objective. Dragon Blade pulled. There is a couple of ways that this team could mitigate that
Ooh,
damage.
good
There is
sanctuary.
one of them. Immortality Field and Kikai Sanctuary invested to weather that Dragon Blade. Doyi has to use the Amp Matrix to stay in this fight, as Radriar is in the backline, but Eric able to track down the Soldier. Not quite able to find the pick, but they see
And
9
it's C9!
again! They see 9
Oh
again!
my. It's disgusting. Two back-to-back C9s. And now Hebron has
There
almost
is
4 minutes.
no win condition for Baja Blasters on Kings Row.
Get a tick. They have 4 minutes to get 33% of first point. Wow, that's just.
Yeah, that's so brutal. 3 minutes and 50 seconds is like a long time going into C. Right, that's a lot of time going into C. You're starting
Yeah.
with 3 minutes and 50 seconds when you start with 4 minutes. Like at the
Yeah.
beginning of the map. They
They
lost,
are.
they gained
Hebron.
time.
Yeah, yeah. Hebron is just gonna look to build ults and just snowball fight into this tick. Baja is gonna have to do a really good job of like holding all of the space on first point. It's interesting that we go over to the Winston on defense here. I like the Freya pick. The Freya is really good here. Very interesting Winston. Oh,
Winton.
Winston. Greetings. But
All
it's just Hebron's just gonna look to build ults as fast as possible and just run Baja over. I mean, it's not gonna be pretty.
well,
I mean, they capped first really fast on
well,
their attack.
admittedly, this is a much different composition than we saw the first time around with that aforementioned Winston. They were on Ramatra the first time around. Beast dropping back down, sees the Winston, heads over to the Bastion.
This is another thing that attacker side just has the advantage of. You can just see their comp, and like you're so close to your spawn, you can just make swaps.
Yeah, Emong has to throw up that grasp as we're going to see Raydriar over to the
Lucio was
Sojourn.
just so
Daryl
low.
able to just slip away so
Uh-oh.
quickly, and Daryl is actually able to track down Raydriar. Emong anteed up from the high ground, as it will be a fight win here towards the Baja Blasters. Their mobility proving to be an issue for this poke comp.
And really good that nobody got traded there. A lot of people on Baja Blasters got really low. A trade there almost likely spells the doom of Baja Blasters. So really good job keeping everybody alive. Like I said, this Freya is really good, man. They just buffed her. They buffed her fire rate and the time to explosion. So I'm really liking Craig on this this Freya. Sorry.
All right, here we go. Back in 2 minutes 40 seconds on the clock for Hebron. A minute down. Rotating up to this high ground. A nice shot there onto Raydriar, having to force that tracer down to the low ground. We're going to see the dive onto the high ground from a phone, and 3 players dead instantly. As a little bit of pressure is getting put on to Doyi on this high ground on the Ana, but Craig comes through huge. Another team kill, another minute gone.
And they're stacking the ult bank. Look at this. Hebron is only the closest is window. Everything else is 50%. Baja Blasters we have Bola, we have Primal, we have Nano. We're close to beaten. We're close to Blade. We have 5. If we sprace these 5 ults out, this 2 minutes can go by really quickly.
All right, here we go. Bola shots ready to go. Dive invested. Bubble down. Immortality field invested as well. Here's the Primal Rage. Bola and Primal come through huge again. And now a third fight win. A third fight win for Baja, and another minute gone for Hebron.
But that's extremely expensive for Baja. You have to pop Bola, Primal, and Nano. Now you only have Beat Blade, as Hebron is coming up on all 5 ults. If you're Hebron, you're looking at that with a grin on your face.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Only need 1 fight to get this, and there is the chain onto Phone! That is a 1 second hinder, and Phone explodes. Dragon Blade pulled by Eric here, looking for more. Craig trades it. Eric diving onto Raydriar. Now in the backline is this Freya of Craig. Kikai Sanctuary invested on the objective. We have a third kill for Eric before going down. Emong so low on the objective, able to get rid of Dogi, but the respawns coming through. Phone has returned to the fight. Here we see the Bastion ult invested, but this Mizuki is in no man's land. We see a Gravitic Flux on the objective, and there is a no win con for Phone. Beast able to take down 2. Emong collected on the high ground. Eric has to use the recall. Get away. Very close to this tick, and that will do it. 30 seconds left. Hebron is on the board now after a critical error from Baja Blasters. 1-1 in this series.
Can't believe Phone got chained. I don't know why we drop into their rotate. I think he was looking for nade. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication, because I think he wanted nade thrown on their rotate, because he dropped in with bubble, and then he just Mizu shifts in and chains Phone, and Phone implodes in front of all 5.
Yeah, I mean, after that critical error from Baja Blasters, giving them
on Flashpoint, getting the point first and setting up first is just really important here.
I think that the bans you're seeing up there, as we do see a Wrecking Ball ban, which admittedly a really strong ban here on Suravasa. Wrecking Ball kind of deceptively good on Suravasa. A lot of good cheeky places to hide and roll through on Suravasa for that Wrecking Ball. So that ban makes a lot of sense from Hebron. Mizuki on the other side for Baja Blasters. Phone's still on the Winston. Not a surprise. Kind of lost him the round on King's Row.
Well, we don't have to mention that. Maybe he's taking a little inspiration from Gushue, of course. We've talked about Korea. Now we'll go down to China on this Winston.
While also wearing a British skin. Alright, here we go. Suravasa Market here to start off map number 3. Someone will be taking a lead here in this series in just a few minutes. Up to the high ground goes Phone. The Bastion, really annoying. Hebron will be taking control of the objective first, it looks like, but Craig on this off angle will be able to find one. It's a nice little trade there as Emong has to use that spear spin to get away, but Mini Carter has found 3 picks here on the Iyari, and it will be a fight win here for Hebron.
Maybe we got a lot of trades out of Baja Blasters. It's a 2v3 and a Soj and a Lucio. We can maybe look to poke here a little bit as our team comes back. You know, phone's on the Winston, so he gets back much quicker than an Orisa.
Right, yeah, Beast dropping down in that wheels form already, so a lot of the pressure has been taken off the Winston. A nice little spear, though, on to phone, forcing out the recall is Eric on this off angle. We're going to see the Immortality field invested as well, so now without that crucial piece of tech for the side of Hebron, this fight will be a lot harder. They are inching closer to that overtime marker here now at 80% already for Hebron. Will be a flip in for the side of Baja Blasters, and they're able to get rid of Raydriar. Dive comes back down in the choke point at the front of this objective as the re-engagement comes through. We're going to see the dash away. Captive Sun onto Phone, and Phone is low enough that don't even need to make that Captive Sun go toward Phone. Going to look toward the Genji, and it will be Eric actually keeping this fight, you know, plausible for the side of Baja Blasters. Has the Dragon Blade. And we have OC as well. Overclock for Craig as well.
It's going to be a big ult fight. We have pretty much everything on both sides for both teams.
All right, well, here is that Sound Barrier answering the Terra Surge, and it will be the Dragon Blade invested onto this map. Johnny will fall, and it will be a fight win here for Baja Blasters for the moment. OC actually gets invested as well. Nice little shots out there. Will claim Beast's life as well as Emong, and it will be Baja Blasters finally taking a breath in this third map.
And Baja keeps their Kitsu, which is very important, and Phone builds up Primal. And Hebron only has Window, and like we don't have any speed, so we can't like speed Window to catch somebody off guard. I don't understand how we're gonna get a lot of value out of this Window unless we like implode Phone.
Well, we've seen it happen before. Without Mizuki, it might be a little bit harder, but here is that answer. They're going to try to do it with the Amplification Matrix. Phone goes up, and that Kitsune Rush comes down. Looking for something else. Eric is super low. Have to use that deflection to get away. Captive Sun out onto Phone, who dives away, but Phone, with that Primal Rage, is able to get rid of Johnny G in the backline. Emong looking forward as Beast on the objective gets rid of 2, now 3 kills for Beast on the objective, and it will be market collected for Hebron.
That's just, I mean, I don't even know. I don't know how Mini Carter built another Captive Sun. He built a Captive Sun in that fight. It was insane.
I mean, damage plus healing, and Iyari does a lot of both, potentially. So we're going to see the swap over to the Zarya.
The counter swap over to the Zarya. As all plat players will tell you, Zarya cooks Orisa. So
oh! Heady for Craig. Gets rid of Mini Carter. No chance to build up another Captive Sun there. We're going to see the ultimate invested for Beast. Will try and keep themselves in the fight, but it will be Baja Blasters taking control as Eric picks up a hat trick of their own.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about the Bastion ult, unless we're looking to swap. Yeah, I figured we'd be looking to swap off of it. We're making 2 swaps for Hebron, but like Baja Blasters now has both DPS ults, and Phone's halfway to this Grav. We'll see if Emon can get value out of this Terra Surge, because they've got a lot of things to mitigate Terra Surge. They've got both bubbles, they've got Immortality, I mean, you've got Soj Slide, you've got Genji Dash. It's going to be a hard ult to use.
Alright, here we go. Doyi with that poke from the Wu Young, looking for it, but Phone is able to track down Beast, so that swap is already out of the way. The Pulse Bomb did get stuck on the Phone, but a beautiful bubble to basically completely nullify that ultimate. 70% and counting for Baja Blasters as they collapse on the stragglers here, and now a Reinhardt swap from Emong.
Hebron did a really good job of getting out Lamp early for this Orisa ult. They just could not actually... You just have to bait so many cooldowns after this Lamp to actually get any value out of it. So they're just going to concede this point, set up next, hopefully get to cap first. We do have this window.
Okay,
But I mean,
they
Phone
actually...
has Crab. We've got Graph Blade. So we'll see.
Hebron actually hedged their bets beautifully going over to the palace here, and it actually was our third objective here.
High ground is going to be so deadly with this window and this cast set up on this high ground.
See Ant Matrix. There is the grab.
Big
The Immortality Field invested and keeps those two players alive as Emong dispatches of Craig Phone able to track down the Pharah once again. We see... I don't think anybody got knocked down by that Wu Young ultimate as Phone is able to actually track it down Radriar. Phone
still getting traded though. I mean, Baja is still here.
Looking
now
for
Craig comes
the
back
pick
from spawn.
Onto the Reinhardt. I mean, Emong is just Emong is kind of perpetual right now. There's the Ant Matrix in from the side of Baja Blasters as I mean, they're just hiding behind the fountain. Nobody has collected this objective yet. As it will finally be Baja Blasters with the help of that Ant Matrix taking the objective.
And the worst part is Eric didn't even invest the blade. We grabbed. Phone, by the way, is almost to another grab. So we still have grab blade coming up. Hebron does have almost 5 ults, so we swapped over to a May now, but we do have Shatter, Window, maybe a little old school Window Fire Strike incoming. But I mean, Baja Blasters built up the ult bank back. That fight lasted so long.
Yeah, getting the healing out onto Emong. Has to use that regenerative burst as the wall comes through.
Not the wall you want to
Just completely kited there. But Beast comes up huge with the pick onto Daryl through the Ant Matrix. It is unfortunately traded. Earth Shadow ready to go here. Wall to try and keep Phone out of the fight. Phone gets bounced up. Dragon Blade comes out. It's a 2-for-2 trade here, and Eric is still going with this blade. It's Emong versus Doyi and Eric on the objective. Doyi trying to find the poke as Emong has to dash away, and it's 90% and counting for Baja Blasters.
And Baja Blasters is still building up this ult bank. They now have Wuyong ult that's just now invested. They still have Grab and OC, but they're not even going to need it.
And Craig able to jump onto Mini Carter. OC comes down, and Baja Blasters will lock up Palace to put themselves on map point.
I don't know if we needed to invest in the OC. We're up 1. Still have Grab though, so it's not that bad. Radiator has this Noon. Now we do have speed, or we're just not even going to use the Noon at all, because that ult sucks. But Hebron over, almost a little Dallas Fury-esque. Just swap this Tracer for a Reaper, and you've got 20-23 grands.
Alright, here we go, Daryl. But, I mean, Ranger are able to get the trade with the Disruptor shot here. Emong on the Winston looking for someone to jump on. Has to jump away, not too keen on going in the middle of everyone as Phone once again, swapping it over.
Just counter swap central, playing back and forth like tennis. Daryl does have this window, and Hebron has nothing, so they're going to look to play super fast. Maybe bait out this ult. There it is.
Here is the Ant Matrix in as Johnny G under a lot of duress, super low, and Phone able to track it down. Emong, an unfortunate Immortality Field. Luckily, didn't matter all that much. But it will be enough to put Baja Blasters in control here. One fight, and Hebron did actually collect 40%.
But Eric is, he has another blade. He's building blades pretty quickly. Also, interesting to see Emong stick out this Winston as we saw the Diva come out. We'll see what Hebron can do. They have no ults. Like, they're walking into this neutral. And Johnny G is ego swinging.
It will be this next engagement from the side of Hebron, and the slide from Radriar not on cooldown finally gets it, able to stay alive with the help of the cleanse from the side of Johnny G here.
Yeah, and Beast has built a post bomb here.
Slide. Daryl has to use the jump to get away, and it will be a Baja Blasters moving in control
Eric
for
bladed.
the 70%.
I think we Wang bladed it, but it doesn't matter. I mean, they still have OC. They're doing a really good job of old econ. Baja is. Last fight territory here. We gotta get this Diva out of mech, but
And
Emon
it
goes
will
down.
be the remake and phone in the pilot diva form, able to drop Radriar and get back into mech all in one fell swoop. And into the spawn goes phone, 99% and counting. And Craig is able to find the final kill for Baja Blasters. They are on match point 2-1.
Yeah, it was very interesting to see Emon stick the Winston. I mean, Diva just melts all of Winston's armor, and like Diva just eats everything. DM is not a healthy ability for this video game, but that's a conversation for a different day. I'm shocked he stick the Winston.
Should we see a Widowmaker? Alright, I wouldn't be surprised by a
Bastion,
Widowmaker.
little Bastion mirror.
Cat Bastion, I'm gonna go have a word with
Oh
phone.
no!
I'm gonna go have a word with phone. It's actually Cat Cassidy and Bastion, for that matter.
It's all of them. It's every single one of them.
All of the above.
Oh, and Emon doesn't play the Domino like I thought he would. He goes over to the Ram like a chud.
I mean, I feel like Ramatra is just in a better position than Domina at the moment. So here we go. Map number 4. Hebron looking to even up the score. Doyi in the sky. Gonna find, I assume, an anti as the cat goes down instantly, and Doyi is dropped off in the middle of the enemy squad and will go down. So a bit of an interesting start for Baja.
First fight not so good. Nade was pretty big though. He still got a big nade. Unfortunately, my cat dies immediately, and my Ana is dropped into the middle of 5 people.
So Daryl actually switching over to the Baptiste. I mean, they told me that they didn't want to play the cat. Kind of surprised to see it at all, to be honest with you.
Just give it one life. Give it one life.
We go Bastion from Beast on the high ground has looked really good on this hero all series long. Switching over to this fight on the low ground as Beast comes up, as Emong is actually able to get the pummel down onto phone, and it will be a disengage here for Baja Blasters, about as well as it can be, as Radriar goes up and drops Daryl as well.
Two onto the cast. Yeah, I'm very interested as to why Craig is on this May rather than the Freya. I mean, they do have Ashe Alari, and Freya is, you know, she kind of stands still in the sky. And we saw him on King's Row, and he was doing pretty good on it. So I'm interested to see why we're on this May. Maybe just because we're in the Ram Mirror and we're looking to blow up tank as much as possible. We do have Zenyatta for Discord Orb.
I mean, we're going to see the Amatrix out from Johnny G. The ice block forced as Phone will jump in front and protect that May as the escape comes through. Blizzard is just about ready to go here. Here's the Deadeye going to force back these players very, very quickly. And now with the Blizzard ready to go, see where Craig decides to drop it. Mini Carter is going to drop the Captive Sun, and it's a humongous Blizzard onto Emong and Beast, and that, unfortunately, they were so far apart that that Immortality Field could only protect one of them. So it will be a capture here for Baja Blasters on Objective A.
It's just really unfortunate for Mini Carter. Baja Blasters, ooh, bad stagger from Johnny. But Baja Blasters isn't playing the Kiri here, so this Sunstrike just gets, I mean, as long as you hit it, you're getting value from it. Because there's no cleanse. I mean, Lamp is like kind of there, but like you're not mitigating the damage, and we can break Lamp super easy.
A nice shot to Eric, has that combat roll to get away from the Ashe. Emong and Phone both have Annihilation ready to roll here. I imagine we'll be seeing those very, very soon. As here's both Ant Matrixes. We're going to see both Immortality Fields. We're going to see Bob come down. Emong and Phone finding one each with the pummels, 2 for 2. Now it's 3 in the way of Baja Blasters as the Annihilation is invested. Emong on the objective alone. Annihilation invested from Emong. Will try to keep this fight in the hands of Hebron Esports. As critical as this Ramatra is, will actually receive the Immortality Field and get back to the team.
Don't worry, holding arms is still extremely broken, no matter how much they try to nerf this ability. But Eric with his high noon. Craig has another blizzard here.
Ah,
But the phone
Deadeye!
goes down quick.
Johnny G in the way of this Deadeye. There is no more Ramatra to speak of. 2 for 2 trade as Radriar comes up huge with a couple of headshots on it to Eric. Gonna try and keep this fight going as we see artillery form come in for the Bastion. Doyi getting rid of Radriar and then popping the Transcendence. Gets that Discord Orb before popping it and will put Baja Blasters in an immaculate position to take this fight. Johnny G jumped on in the back line. There is no Doyi in the fight anymore, but did his job so well to keep Baja Blasters in the fight and winning the fight.
You're Hebron, you're really, really mad at that fight. Especially the fight before when you invest Bob, Annihilation, you put Window down too. I mean, you popped 3 ults, and all they had to do was pop the 2, and they still win the fight for, like, with better ult econ. Baja Blasters almost has, Craig has another Blizzard, and Phone has another Annihilation.
Alright, 3 minutes in counting here. Baja Blasters time bank. Hebron on the high ground, looking for some poke here. Immortality Field invested super early for the side of Hebron. Not exactly what you would have loved to see as the drop down to the low ground comes. Baja Blasters ultimates ready to go. Phone and Daryl and Craig building up to that Blizzard, and the Amp Matrix is huge. Emong can only hold those arms up for so long as Emong does end up falling, hindered from Eric onto Mini Carter, and it will be Beast on the Tracer. No way to keep this fight going. Johnny G frozen up, and 2 minutes on the clock for Baja Blasters will be their fight win and a collection on this first round.
They just did a really good job of flipping map with Window, because Hebron's set up on this high ground. They have to drop on the card to contest. So Baja just flips map, puts Window down, and puts in a ton of damage on Emong before he even hits the ground. So he has to pop Annihilation and just hold arms and pray that he can get the care that he needs. And I mean, Daryl is just lapping Johnny G in Window charge. This is not the infamous cheater, ladies and gentlemen. This is not that Johnny G, okay?
All right. Over to the other side of Circuit Royale.
What a life fever I'm looking at right now?
I can't imagine the life weaver stays. I can see Emong remaining on this Maga.
I think they're going to pedal platform the Malga over top onto the high ground. Never mind, he's on dominant, so I'm just a liar.
They buffed Panopticon.
They did buff her ult. And they gave her a cool new Dallas fuel skin, guys. Go get the bundle in the Overwatch shop now. Hashtag not sponsored.
WCS. We are sponsored, however, by Whataburger, Raising Cane's, Milk Tea, Beth Marie's.
God, they're actually gonna do it. They're gonna pull this Malga over high ground. Oh god.
All of the above. All right, here we go. Pedal platform, Malga. Be a little bit quiet. I need to be a little bit quieter because they might be able to
they're looking at each other. Here we go.
Craig finds the heady on to Radriar, though. They do know that this Malga's in the back line now as Craig has found a second pick. Looking for more. Beast on the Echo is super low.
I think Hebron's just trying to get silly. I think they've understood that they're not going to beat Baja at their own game, so they just got to get funky with it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
the Rabbit
turning into a spawn hold at this point.
Yeah. Off to kind of a below average start for Hebron here on this side of the map. Not quite
I don't hate the comp. I mean, they're going, like, this is very pokey. As you said, they love the poke. I mean, the Domino fills pretty much the Sigma role. We've got an Echo copy super good into the comp that Baja's running. And, you know, now you can copy teammates.
Oh my god.
Unless you get your head taken off.
Doyi just kind of putting holes in people on the Zenyatta has just been an absolute menace this series. Emong looking to find something here. It does have that Discord orb to try and help out with that that extra damage. And Matrix ready.
Yeah, but Baja Blasters has 5 ults. We have literally everything saved up, and we haven't left the first corner of the map.
Alright, well here is the Amp Matrix as it will be actually a pick onto Craig. Unfortunately, Annihilation for phone, not much, right? There's not much going on there as Doyi and Daryl are in this staircase.
We have copied Zenyatta. We've copied Zenyatta.
Yeah.
As Doyi floats away.
Yeah, I mean, Doyi gonna actually return to the fight here. Has actually kind of been a nightmare to deal with. Unfortunately, not so much in the 1v3.
Almost gets the trade on a mini card though. That's just power of the Zenyatta. But I mean, it's honestly, if you're Baja, that's fine. You got out ults from Hebron, and you still have Blizzard and High Noon. You still have 2 ults of your own because you saved 5, not even rounding the first corner.
Panopticon was also used last fight. Just want to be clear about that. Not really much of consequence out of it. So that ultimate.
Well, they use copy too.
Building out. Craig needing the immortality field to stay in the fight. Unfortunately, kind of just shoved into a locker. Yeah, Anti-Plus Discord Orb is kind of brutal. That's a kind of brutal combination of abilities for phone. I mean, not super good there, as it will be a collection on objective A for Hebron.
Hebron still invested Bob. I feel like you could have held that ult for this second point, because this is going to be a brutal one. But I mean, you had the pick onto the Mei. I don't think we need the Bob there, but secure point, I guess.
Okay. Go for the second objective. There's a bunch of free push here from Hebron after a really long drawn-out fight on objective A. See the nano boost ready to go for Mini Carter as throwing that sleep dart right into the shield, unfortunately. I mean, phone is very low again, but the Annihilation and the Blizzard together, another kind of lethal combination there, as Eric has actually found 3 picks now in that late fight, and it will tick under 2 minutes now for Hebron.
But if you're Hebron, you're fine with that. Annihilation, Trance, Window, and Blizzard, that's 4 ults for, I mean, did they even pop anything? I don't think Hebron popped anything. Now they're coming up with they have Nano, Copy, and Panopticon for this fight, as Baja has nothing but maybe this OC if Eric can build it quick enough.
Now we see Emong on the objective, trying to push the objective. There is the Panopticon. It lands on 3. That is going to do a lot of damage as phone is antied up again, and just absolutely eviscerating this Baja Blasters squad. It will be Hebron, and it will push them through this second objective.
Yeah, and a really good layered copy after this Panopticon, because I mean the lamp kind of kept everybody alive. So really good layered copy, and we have Bob again and Nano, and Eric just gets his head blown off. But yeah, Hebron still has 2 ults. We can Nano Bob here, and we almost have another trance. Baja's looking a little worse for wear. They only have this OC walking into third point. We'll see if Eric can find any value out of it. This is a very high ground centric third point, so good for Sojourn angles. Just doing a little poking of each other. Phone has now mirrored the Domina.
Right.
Something you don't see every day.
Hebron not quite going to be able to match the time bank here on Circuit Royale as we look toward this fight. That OC still ready to rock as Phone is able to push Emong into the wall, and Phone with the heady on to Raydriar. Anti-Nate came out, not quite going to find that connection. They do get rid of Doyi, who has been One of the more difficult players to deal with is Eric. Slides in the background, gets rid of Johnny G. It's Daryl and Eric versus the world right now, and they're coming out on top.
To watch the PGE slide work out in real time. Holy. Yeah, and now if you're Baja Blasters, you're looking really good in the ult bank department because you didn't have to use anything. I think Ragear was looking for a Bob, but he kind of just bot walked it down main and Phone took his head off.
Douyi again! Mini Carter eviscerated by Douyi, who is on the flank. Of course, the Zenyatta does not have any footsteps, so potentially, if you're confident enough in Douyi again! Douyi is a nightmare in human form!
That's just not okay. I mean, Hebron has 5 ults here. I mean, we've got this minute, but Baja almost has 5 as well. We're just going to have a lot of shapes and colors on cart real soon as Johnny G takes Eric out of the fight real early.
All right, here we go. Dupe on to the Mei, building up a lot with that that healing, but the Panopticon claims the Mei there as Ant Matrix, or rather Transcendence, to answer the Blizzard, keeps most of the team in the fight. Unfortunately, Douyi exists, guys.
He's a demon. He's an actual demon.
Phone is able to keep this fight in control for the moment, but Beast comes through. Eric able to get rid of Beast.
What is a demon to a beast? Holy.
Beast able to keep the fight going, but does end up going down in the end. Phone returns, 3 seconds on the clock. One more fight. Panopticon, Nano Boost, ready to go. Looking for it. Trying to go in. Overclock, ready to go for Eric. We're going to see that Panopticon here very, very soon. Mini Carter in the back line looking for it. Eric pops the OC. Finds one, finds two. Finds a third with the help of the rest of the team, and Baja Blasters able to blast their way right into the grand finals of LAN B off the back of a monumental performance here from, you know, we're going to talk about it in a little bit. I'm just going to be honest with you. Douyi is the MVP of this series. We are going to give, you know, MVPs out, I think, for every series, but I don't know if you agree with me, Mars. Douyi is just a menace on these backline flex support characters.
I mean, who else do you give it to? 17 charged volley kills. He 5-orbered somebody 17 times. That's disgusting.
So yeah, I mean, there's usually more of a conversation for me, but I think it's clear right now that Douyi is our MVP for our semifinal game here in LAN B. So Baja Blasters has a date with the University of North Texas Varsity